yes, I am back. I know you all dearly missed me. I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, if people actually want to see me do do some dev streams, I might as well. This is just scripting, so it'll be really exciting stuff, I'm sure.
Our outputs and then clear it. So then let's create our local script. On our Explorer, let's scroll down a little bit. And on our starter GUI, we're going to hit the plus sign and then we're going to search for a local script. And this is what it should look like. So let's click that. And then we see that it brings up the script editor. And this
What the
pretty
heck?
much looks exactly the same as you would see when you.
Hold on. There's some mementos that are being stinky. Okay, there we go. Alright. Shout out to BrawlDev, by the way. The free scripting tutorials that he does that are just, like, they should be paid, honestly.
So then let's create our local script. On our Explorer, let's scroll down a little bit. And on our starter GUI, we're going to hit the plus sign and then we're going to search for a local script. And this is what it should look like. So let's click that. And then we see that it brings up the script editor. And this pretty much looks exactly the same as you would see when you insert a normal script. But this time, this acts as a local script. So we're not going to change anything here. We're going to leave this as print hello world. We're going to go back to our game. We're going to hit test and then hit play. So then what should happen is that we should see in the output hello world, just like how we normally would in a regular script. But here's the interesting thing. If we hit current client and switch over to the server, we can see that hello world is still here. But if you see this color-coded pattern here, you can see that there's actually a color here that's blue.
I do not see.
And then down here is a color that's green. So whenever you see an output down here
no
where the color is highlighted to be blue, that
it's
means that this little line of code ran on the client and not the server. So green means that it ran on the server, but in this case, our local script ran on the client. As soon as one player joined the game, that's when it decided to print out onto the output. Let's now make something that will only run on the client side and not have it be shown on the server. So we're going to create a part where when a player steps on it, it will print out a bunch of stuff in the output, but only on the client. So with our script that we created, let's actually disable this. We're not going to be using this for the rest of the tutorial. And let's insert a part. So
let me rename these real quick. That, models. There we go. There will not be a lot of dialogue from me, by the way.
Let's go to model up here, and then let's hit part to insert a new part into the workspace. So let's just drag this along here. Let's change the scale of it a little bit. And let's change the color of the part down here inside of properties, and let's change the brick color to yellow, for instance. And now what we'll do is we'll go down here to starter player in the Explorer. So open this up a little. And you'll see a section called starter character scripts. So let's hit the plus sign here and let's create a new local script. And then let's delete this code that's been given to us by default. So first what we'll do is make reference to the part. We'll say local part equals game.workspace.part. So that will make reference to the part that we just created. And now we'll add a touched event to that part. So we'll say part.touched connect open parentheses function open parentheses close parentheses. Let's also delete this last line here. Enter. And then we will say print, and then in quotations we'll say like some random mumble jumble here. Okay, so now let's go back to the game. We'll hit test and we'll hit play. Okay, so it looks like I got an error here saying that part is not a valid member of workspace. What ended up happening was that the part didn't load in fast enough to catch that there was a part in the server. So we're gonna have to wrap this around in a wait for child. So let's delete part.
Seems to be a lot of.
After workspace, we'll say wait for
There's a lot of pee pee poo poo.
child and make sure you have the case sensitivity correctly. Then we'll say open close parentheses, and inside of here, in quotes, we will say part. So now this is going to force the script to wait until part is loaded into the game so that we can actually run whatever's down here. So let's touch this. And as you can see on the client, the part is printing out all this mumble jumble random nonsense. This stuff isn't being printed out on the server. Now it may not.
Oh yeah, I didn't even check.
Because
oh yeah, it is.
The thing we can see here is the color difference. Let's do something more visual so we can actually understand it more. So let's hit stop, go back to our local script, and instead what we'll do is we will change the color of.
Just delete this. That's fine. I don't really need that.
Of the part when we step on it. So let's delete this print statement here, and let's try to write a line that changes the color of the part. So we'll say part dot brick color equals brick color dot new, and then in parentheses right here we will put in some quotes and say really red.
I won't say
that. So now let's go back into the game, and
I could make it change to a random color actually. Let me do that. Local random. How did I do that? Math.random. Let's see. You. Actually, so it was red value, yeah, random with the parameters. So random. Yeah, but I don't need that. I don't need the random number. So local red value equals do how true to that. And that should change the color a lot for this thing. Game, what's up with this? My studio might have actually just crashed. That's crazy. Oh. Oh, I needed a wait command. Okay. All right. Yep. I needed to wait so it didn't completely just freaking nuke the thing. Let me do that real quick. Just have it wait half a second. Perfect. I wonder if I could do that for the material as well. How many materials are there? I probably could, but it would take too friggin' long. I'll just do, should be able to be like local function color shift and could do that, paste that here, and then say like, hey, color shift. Let's see. I know this is super exciting. Index nil with color. Right, because parts down here. Shut up. Duh. That's a different thing. Durr. Didn't check over the script, obviously. So yeah, that works. Which means we can, once again, different thing. Function material shift. Okay. Local random num equals random, or math random, math dot random. Let's do 1 to 3. If random num equals 1, then part dot material equals enum dot material dot neon. Else if do carpet, and we'll do plastic. This should be material shift. It's very exciting. So this should change the color and the material. It is. This is working really freaking good, actually. I'll add some more, though. Do 1 to 4. Else if... Oh. Else if random num is equal to 4, then... What was it? There was another... There's another material. Bricks, yes. Part dot material equals enum dot material dot brick. Yep, it's working. That gives us a random color of 1 of 4 materials every time we move on it. I wonder if we can do while it's true. Okay. Let's see. While okay. While true, do wait 2.5 and all right. Local part touched equals false. Oh, yep, capitalized. False. So what I was gonna do is part touched equals true. Then part touched equals false. I don't know if that'll work. This might crash. In fact, it's very likely to crash, but we'll see. I think it has to be inside the function, but like I said, we shall see. That's not what I want. I want it to keep going until... Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Duh. While part touched equals true. There we go. Duh. It was just constantly doing it. I didn't plug in the variable at all. Durr. Pretty sure it is, actually. What did he say about this?
Equals break to the game so that we can actually run whatever's last line here. Enter. And then we will say print. Okay, so now let's go back to the game. We'll hit test and then we'll hit play. Okay, so it looks like I got an error here saying that part is not a valid member of workspace. What ended up happening was that the part didn't load in fast enough to catch that there was a part in the server. So we're gonna have to wrap this around in a wait for child. So let's...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Let's see if I can actually do that real quick. Workspace Wait for child part. Wait for child part. Do I not have any wait for child things? Oh, find first child. Yeah. Find first child. Part. Is it just... I don't remember this. Not gonna lie. I might need a refresher. I didn't really pay attention during this one.
Here. And after workspace, we'll say : wait for child and make sure you have the case sensitivity correctly. Then we'll say open close parentheses. And inside of here, in quotes, we will say part. So now this is going to force the script to wait until part is loaded into the game so that we can actually run whatever's down here. So let's touch this. And
gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. Used the wrong capitalization, so of course it didn't work. That should work fine. Okay. Hold on. If let me try something here. If part dot touched equals true, then okay. It's true then. Control C. Actually, I'm not holding control right now, studio. That's just not happening. It's just not happening. I don't foresee this being accurate. Yeah, it needs a connect function. Okay. Maybe I could nest it. Control C, Control V. If part touched equals true, then this seems unnecessary, because this is already kind of an if. And then I'm putting an if in here. Okay, hold on. Part touched equals false. Part touched equals true. Okay, so that stops. Maybe it's simply because it's just a while statement. That literally could be it. Bam, works. Cool. Sweet, that works.
And as you can see on the client, the part is printing out all this mumble jumble random nonsense. This stuff isn't being printed out on the server. Now, it may not be as clear to you because the only thing we can see here is the color difference. Let's do something more visual so we can actually understand it more. So let's hit stop, go back to our local script, and instead what we'll do is...
So, I wonder... Let's do... Will this show up for anyone else? So obviously, on my end, it's happening. Ah, I see. So that's the difference. Yeah, okay. So no one else who... Yep, alright, that's how I would do... So this is local scripts, right? Or this is client-side scripts that are obviously doing stuff like client-side stuff. Let's see. While loop is to allow. I should run over and over again. So to see the script running from client side across to server side. I wonder if I could link stuff like that. Like, could I link something like this into something and give it a different color on the server side, Almost certainly,
We will
right?
change the color of the part when we step on it. So let's delete this print statement here, and let's try to write a line that changes the color of the part. So we'll say part, because we created that. So that's pretty much the basics.
Okay. I think I already know some
Hey,
of this
thanks for
stuff.
stopping by. In this episode of my Roblox Advanced Scripting tutorial series, I'm going to be discussing about delete instances, what they are, how they are used, and why you should use them. Delete instances is a term that I kind of made up because it reflects on ways that Roblox has provided us tools to handle unnecessary or unneeded objects or instances that we just have lying around inside of our Roblox games that we create. And in this guide, I'm going to show you different ways of how Roblox has provided us these tools to help us with those situations. But in order to understand what I'm talking about, let me show you an example. All right, let's think about this for a minute. So I just quickly created something that I think will be a great example for what I'm about to show you in this episode. So right in front of me, I have a coin spawning pad that randomly spawns coins onto this pad, and then after a certain period of time, which is about 5 seconds, they end up disappearing. The reason I have it do this is because my initial intention was that when a player steps on one of these coins, then they will add a point to their bleeder stat, but I did not create that yet. And so what's really important to note here is that these coins, when they're not being picked up, they despawn on their own after 5 seconds. It doesn't have to rely on me to pick them up before they actually despawn, because if I just come over here and pick up one of these coins, they disappear like intended. We don't have to deal with them anymore. Once they're collected, we just wait for the next one to spawn in. And so Roblox has provided us 3 methods to deal with deleting instances, and I'm going to be showing you how to do all 3 of them in this episode. Alright, like I mentioned with my example, we don't want to keep these parts lying around inside of the game that we don't need anymore, otherwise it'll slow down Roblox. And we have to have a healthy amount of garbage collection when it comes to handling what parts we don't need and what parts we should keep in the world. So there's something I want you to understand. In our Explorer, we have all of these instances and parts. They all have a parent that is basically like the folder that the object or part or whatever it is contained inside. So if we look at our base plate, our base plate's parent, our parent property here, is workspace, which is basically the folder of base plate. Base plate is a child, also known as like a file inside of a folder, inside of workspace. That also applies to everything else that's here inside the workspace. You have the camera, terrain, spawn location, and let's say I were to insert a new part. So if I go to model up here and then click on part, I inserted a new part into the workspace. But if I go over here to the right and click on part in the Explorer, we can see that the parent is also inside of the workspace. And so that's something I want you to keep aware of when I'm going to be discussing about remove and how this affects parts.
Intrusive thought moment. I would not make Maul a very happy man.
Inside of the game. So now that we have this part, how do we want to remove it through script? Well, the first thing we're going to do is obviously create a script. And on the right side, let's create a script that'll be parented to part. So we will click the plus sign that's in part, and then we will say script. So now, as we can see here with the script, the parent property of the script is
I think I've already messed with these
So
before.
we want to be able to locate that part. And we're going to do this by first deleting this, and then we'll make reference to that part by saying local part equals script.parent. So we've made reference to the part that's basically located on the script's parent. And I'll simply show you the first method. But before we do that, let's actually create a wait at the very beginning of the script so that we can see the change happening when we delete it. So we're going to say task.wait, and then inside of these parentheses, we're going to put a number indicating the number of seconds we're going to wait until we execute this script. So we'll say 6. And then down here, let's say part, remove. And then we will wrap these around in open and close parentheses. So let's go into the game. Let's hit test and hit play so that we can actually see the change that happens. And so let me open the Explorer really quick so we can really see the change. So after about 6 seconds, as you
Okay. I want to try something then.
can see, the part disappeared not only in the workspace but also in the Explorer. So that pretty much did what we intended it to do. So what's the issue here? There's a lot of intricate stuff that goes on in the back of Roblox's servers and game management, stuff like that, that it's kind of a bit complicated. But effectively what this did was that it took the part's parent over here. If I go into the Explorer, click on parts, and then see its parent, this effectively set the parent of the part to nil. And as you know, nil is a none value. It's a value that does not exist. So now that we know that remove basically sets the parent of the part to null, it's sort of just floating around in the game's content. But now the game doesn't know what to do with it because there is no parent set to it. So it didn't fully get rid of it. So Roblox has provided a better alternative called destroy. So if we go into our script and replace remove with destroy instead, we can actually see that it does multiple things. It not only sets the parent property to nil like remove does, but it also locks the parent of the instance, and it disconnects all connections and calls destroy on all children. So it basically does what remove does, but as an added layer of security, it does all these other things in order to provide as much performance as the game can give you when you get rid of a part. So all in all, this is just a much better method to use over remove. So I mentioned in my example in the beginning of this tutorial that I basically had coins that came into the game, and then after a certain period of time, I made them disappear. That actually didn't have to do with putting in a wait statement before destroying it. There's actually a much better way of dealing with that sort of stuff. To know after a certain amount of time to just delete the instance whenever I need it to without using a wait statement. And I'll show you two ways of doing this and why I recommend this third method rather than using a wait statement. So this third method is called debris. And this is basically a model that Roblox has provided where it handles garbage collection when you want to delete a part within a specific amount of time, rather than having to delete the part through one single command. So if we go back up here to our script, we can see that we have our wait statement here in the very first line before actually destroying the part. I actually would not advise doing this by using a wait statement and then destroying the parts. I will explain to you why in just a little bit. So let's delete this first line up here with the wait statement, and let's also just comment out this part really quick by putting in the 2 dashes in front of the command. So let's hit enter down here, and let's type in game.debris because this is the framework that we're going to be using in order to handle garbage collection. And we're going to say colon add item. In the first argument, we're going to throw in the part, and then we're going to separate using a comma for our second argument, and we're going to give a number. So we used the number 6 for the time we wanted to use for when the part was actually going to be destroyed. So this is how we're going to do it. Instead of using task dot,
let's see, local touch num equals 0. Touch num return touch num. Okay. If touch num equals 100, then part should be game dot
wait 6 seconds and then
What does this
destroying
do?
parts. We're simply doing this in one line by saying game.debris, and then this is the method we're using.
Okay.
Add item. We want to add this part to the debris garbage collection after 6 seconds that this line has been executed.
So this should print off 100. This should print off. This is gonna sound so freaking stupid. This should print off 100 pee pee poo poos, and change the color and material 100 times. And whenever it does that, I'm not pressing any movement keys. Oh, that's why. Okay. So it prints off the number that it's at. We just do not need you to do that. Touch num 1 equals 0. Local. Touch num 2. Touch num 2. Touch num 1. Touch num 1. Local touch num 3 equals touch num 1 plus touch num 2. Okay. Maybe I'm not understanding what debris does. So obviously that part isn't working. What is the loops? Yes. For loop, yeah. So then it should be. No. Yes. Yes, maybe. For I equals 1, the cap should be 100, increase by 1, do, no. No, because that's, yeah, alright. Let's have a check inside. If okay. If touch num 1 is greater than or equal to 100, then part dot destroy. Right? Save part dot destroy. I think so. So trying to get it to where it can only be touched 100 times before it gets destroyed. Obviously, it's not working. Okay, something's up with the touch num. Touch num. Return touch num 2. Ah, yes, because return has to be the last thing. Alright, I think I got it. Let's see. Turn touch num 2. Touch num 2 equals. Man, I have no idea why this isn't working. Oh, okay. All it's adding, it's not overwriting it at all. So what this should do, this should add one. This should, I should probably actually put this out of here. Very exciting stuff, I know. But this is how you learn scripting. Okay, I think the issue is it's not getting to 100. This is an overriding. Hold on. You're pulling from that. Okay. All right, gotcha. Okay, let's see. All right. Let me try something here. Yeah, it's not getting added to at all. Why not? Okay. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Local touch count equals touch num1 plus touch num2. Local touch num1 equals 0. Local touch num2 equals okay. If part if part dot touched equals true, then I'm doing this in the most awful way possible. Touch amount equals 0. Part touch equals true, then local then touch amount equals touch amount plus 1. Return touch amount equals touch amount. Just testing this. I don't expect this to work at all, but we're just gonna see. It's not adding anything. It is still printing 0. So the issue is only pulling this. This is a loop. You don't need to exist. Okay. true. We don't need a while loop. While part touched equals true to that. Okay, this should not be in an infinite feedback loop then. In fact, it doesn't start. I don't think I had a... Yep, that's on the wrong side. Cool. Okay. So, just to check, that's not in an infinite feedback loop then. Well, all right. Touch count equals 0. Touch count plus 1. Touch count equals touch count plus 1 plus 1. Print touch count. This should increase. Maybe. We'll see. Oh my gosh, it's increasing. All right. If touch count is greater than or equal to 100, then part dot destroy. Oh, yeah. Print no more touchy. So wait, not 12 seconds, 1 second. And then destroy. No more touchy. I expected not calling member function destroy. Ah, colon. Okay. Understood. Print touch count. Count. Here, and just so we don't keep getting it, if touch, actually, here, super easy. print touch count. If touch count is less than or equal to 100, we'll actually just use less than. Less than or greater than. If touch count is less than 100, print the touch count. If it is not, print no more touchy, wait 1 second, and destroy it. That way, it'll stop printing the touch count and stuff. Perfect. No more touchy. Now, we need to see. I don't think it'll work if we step off of it. Let's see. Oh, it does, actually. Wait, hold on. Oh my gosh. That's great. That works great. See if we can just get it to. So we can just get it to print 1 no more touchy. I also want to have it to where if you stay on it too long, it gets destroyed. Like if you're on it for like 2 seconds, it gets destroyed. Or like 6 seconds, I guess. A big part of that might just be my internet, like my lag. Wow. Part touched is equal to true. Do. I think I can wait. Let's say like wait 5 seconds. Seconds. If part touched is equal to true, then stop it. Part dot part destroy. So either we're never going to get to this, or this will work. I don't think this will work. I think it will. I don't think we'll ever get to that. I should also probably increase the number a little bit for the overall thing. Say like 500. See, now this is fun because I can actually do stuff that affects the game now. Oh, okay. Print stop it. Break. Actually, hold on. We need to continue, I think. I guess not. Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. Maybe I could literally just be like... Okay, wait 5 seconds. Okay. What I'm thinking is I can switch it to false. But I don't know. Let's just try it. Okay, yeah, that's not working. More touchy. Okay. Oh, did it work actually? Stop it. Okay. I have an idea. Okay. Else if part touched equals true and touch count is less than 500, then print touch count. This should not print after it says stop it then. Hopefully. I don't think it'll work, but it might. I don't think it's working. It is not working. Okay. It might work here. I don't want the AI assistant. I'm fine. Ignore it. Looks like I can't ignore it. Why is this suddenly an issue when it wasn't an issue before? Expected identifier. That wasn't an issue before now. Why is it suddenly an issue? So then there is a missing parenthesis somewhere in here. Okay. While it is being touched, or if it is touched, make part touched equal true. While part touched equals true, do I feel like this is an unnecessary if statement. This is a while, so this is a loop. See, there's no parentheses, no parentheses. There's nothing. Well, you're gonna tell me it's wrong either way. What's the issue here? Okay, fine. I'm sorry? Okay. Ain't no way that worked. But there wasn't any other statement that was made. Cool stream. Thank you. I like Toaditus. Print touch count. It's not printing the touch count. It is now printing the touch count. Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's not printing it because it's, okay. It's in this while loop. It will need to print it. Well, part touched is equal to true. Do print touch count. That might work. I don't see why it would. Dear God, my game is not happy right now. Just get off of the pad, please. Why is it lagging so bad? I get it's changing colors a lot, but it should. Are you about to hard crash from a single block changing colors? Studio, is that what's happening right now? Come on. Don't hard crash on me, man. Don't do it. Don't be doing it. Clear all the things that you can. It's crashed. It's crashed. Yeah. I don't know why that crashed. Actually, I might know why that crashed. I think it's because... Yep. Yep, that's why it crashed. Okay. That makes sense. I needed a wait command there, and I didn't put one. So you know. It might work, like it might come back, but we'll see. This is why you should read over your code right here. I do want to try one thing with the destroy command though, which is like getting rid of the like dead kaijus. Like whenever you die in a kaiju game and you menu or whatever, is that done with the destroy command? Can I do that on Blender models? I'd imagine so. This is gonna take us a bit. We might actually just have to task manager Roblox. I ain't even gonna lie, bruh. Because this is taking a while. It should mostly have saved anywho. Let me open up task manager. Manager, help us. Help us, task manager. Help us, please. Please load studio so I can kill it. Task manager. This one right here, task manager. Alright, there we go. Man, that one, it killed it quick. I don't think I've ever had task manager kill something that fast. Alright. There we go. That shouldn't crash. Let me bring up Task Manager just to be safe. But it shouldn't crash now. Click. There we go. Wait, yeah. All right. I think we have reached past the area of needing Task Manager. Forgot that I have my kaiju as dev colon 0. What do we think about this for the thing though? I don't know if I'm able to do it, but I'd love for it to be the kaiju and then the level of the kaiju. But that gets into some scripting problems. Why are you not loading? Alright, hold on. Let's close place. Oh no, it's not loading, man. Shouldn't be having any issues here, game. There we go. Right now, it shouldn't repeat. I think that might have messed with the... yeah. That might have messed with this. Yeah, I think that was messing with the booleans. No more touchy. Alright. Touchy. Part touched equals false. Break. Alright. I guess we don't need it. We don't need it to say the part count. So now, if we are touching it for more than 5 seconds, it doesn't work. Why are you being stingy? Okay, hold on. I have an idea. Wait 5 seconds. If part touched equals false, then break. Else, if part touched equals true, then stop at destroy break. And just to clarify, this all works fine. What is this end for? This is an end, this is an end. This is an end. Should probably have an end here, actually. So, just running through the code. If the part has the touched event, then it uses this function of switches the part to true. And then while it switches part touch from false to true, while part touched is equal to true, which it is because it went through this, it says if part touched is true, which is because it went through this, color shift, which is the function up here, it references this function, material shift, which it does this function, wait, it adds 1 to the touch count. If touch count is greater than or equal to 500, print no more touchy, destroy, the part touched is equal to false, and break the chain. So this comes out of this entire thing. Otherwise, so if it doesn't get to that, while part touched is equal to true, wait 5 seconds. If part touched is equal to false, then break. Else if part, so if it if it is not equal to if part touch is not equal to true, or not equal to false rather, then print stop it, destroy the part, break the chain. The only thing that I'm not convinced is gonna work is this might be locked as a part touched equals true. So, you know. Wait a minute, I have an idea. Okay. All right, hold on. Wow. Part touched is equal to true, do local timer equals 0. Timer equals timer plus 1. Wait 1 second. If timer is less than or equal to 5, then that's 6. We'll do 6. If timer is less than or equal to 5, then print touch num, or touch count, sorry. Touch count, wait half a second. Else if timer is greater than or equal to 6, then there we go. And part touched is equal to false. There we go. That might work. Because I was thinking maybe there's a timer function. I could just make a timer with math and adds, or math and weights. Let me, it might be because it's too far down, actually. I think it's unexpected identifier. All right. Just say end. End. Just put another end until it works, I guess. We'll just keep putting more ends. Bam, it worked. For whatever reason, it worked. Print touch count. Then if timer is greater than or equal to 6. Stop it, destroy. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why didn't that work? Have it. I don't think that'll work. hold on. There is clearly an issue here. All right. Let's do that. All right. I need some comments here. Color and material shift. Touch counter. Timer. Destroy. I feel like this is an unnecessary if command as well. All right. Print timer. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Right, because it's resetting it. Yes. The timer needs to be outside of the thing because it's resetting it. Duh. Stupid cheese. Been working on this for almost 2 hours. Oh. So now if we switch you to like, let's say 150, so I don't have to keep being stupid moments. Ah, yes. Okay. So what we need now, so the issue here, right, is it's not stopping this. Let's see. So this is the destroy stuff. I have an idea. Else if take that out. Probably get the comment in there too. This doesn't really matter. Else No, you haven't really missed anything. Let's see. Let the timer wait for like 10 seconds. You're fine. Oh, wait. The white's at the wrong spot. Wait. 1. It's waiting after it adds more. It needs to add 1, then wait, then add 1, then wait, then add 1, then wait. Not... Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that definitely worked better. Make it 20. Should be like 20 seconds. Oh, is it only printing after? I feel like this would be easier to do with 2 separate ones. More touchy. Okay. Print. Touch count. Touch counter. Where's it touch count? I think it's just touch count. No more touchy. Okay. This is very exciting. Oh my gosh, does this work now? So this is the timer, yeah. And then we make this like 10, right? Oh, I think I know what's up with it. Okay. If timer is less than or equal to 6, then stop it. Else timer equals 0. Bam. Then I think the issue is it's keeping the time. So only one of these is happening. Just like the heck is this? What the heck is this, man? What is that? Oh, that must be the timer. Okay. Alright, hold on. Timer equals 0. This is in the wrong spot. Still in the wrong spot. Okay, let's see. This needs to be let's see. If part touched equals false, then not 10, then timer equals 0. So that's the timer. No, I didn't want that video recorded though. Now, if we do say it's over like 60. Let's see how long that takes for it then. It's like yippee. Does that destroy it? Yes, that destroys it. Okay. So then we're gonna make this 100. So in theory, I should be able to just stand on it and just walk around for a bit. And then it should say stop it. Saying both. Which one happened first? No more touchy happened first. So the issue that I'm having here is just timing then. Okay. But I could adjust that, but who the hell cares? The whole thing now is one of the things that one of the big reasons why I tried this is we do that and it's destroyed for me, but it's not destroyed on the server side. So then my question, I suppose, yes, hold on, let me. Also, yeah, like epilepsy warning or something, I don't know, lol. And I should be almost right where it is. If I go, oh, I need to remember it's not the stop button, it's It's the computer. It's the client to server side. So now, oh, I'm pushing it. Okay. But yeah, that's okay. Good. That's what I was. Yeah.
So if we go back into the game and then hit play, we should pretty much see the same exact result, just using a different framework. So in about 6 seconds, the part should be removed. If we look at our Explorer, then the part is definitely
What was it? Part 5. There we go. And that should destroy this part then. Unless I'm stupid and it's on the wrong part, which I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, debris is not a valid member. Mr. Brawldev, what do you have as your script here? Add item part. Okay. Debris, colon, add item. Except they're both capitalized. Add item, parentheses, part. There we go. So now, it's not going to work. Of course, it works for him. Doesn't work for me. Why does it not work for me?
Part, and then we're going to separate using a comma
Game
for a second argument, and we're going to
the exact same code.
So we used the number 6 for the time we wanted to use for when the part was actually going to be destroyed. So this is how we're going to do it. Instead of using task.wait 6 seconds and then destroying the part, we're simply doing this in one line by saying game.debris, and then this is the method we're using, add item. We want to add this part to the debris garbage collection after 6 seconds that this line has been executed. So if we go back into the game and then hit play, we should pretty much see the same exact result, just using a different framework. So in about 6 seconds, the part should be removed. If we look at our Explorer, then the part is definitely not there in the Explorer anymore. So that effectively did the exact same thing as destroy, but we
colon. This is super exciting stuff, chat. I'm having fun. This is fun for me. No one else is having fun, but I'm having fun. Infinite yield possible on wait for child part. Yeah, okay. Cool. The next tutorial, would you believe it? The next tutorial is over double as long as this.
we gave it a certain
Yeah,
time before it actually deleted itself. Now it's time to answer the question, why should we use debris over using a wait statement and then destroying the part? Okay, so going back to my coins example, here's the script right here. The only thing you really need to know about is the
Let's see how much of this I can understand. Spawn coin, new coin, coin model clone. That's just positioning within some parameters. Alright. I am going to drop from stream then.